Hi guys, good morning. What are you drinking today? I'm gonna pour my coffee, pour my water, and get right into the topic. And in today's video, we're gonna talk about different ways of traveling. I know we all love to travel, but how do we travel? And how do we get the most out of our travels? Stick around, you don't wanna miss this one. I know some of you already have your travel life packed, and some of us are still in the process of creating that travel life. In today's video, I want to present to you 10 ways of how you can travel. But before we do that, I want to give you a story of my life. You know, I'm full of stories. So when I first started traveling, I was bored out of my wits. I was so bored because I didn't understand traveling. I didn't understand what it was all about. You can basically say I didn't know where I fit in, what kind of traveling I wanted to do. I knew about hopping on a plane, going somewhere, seeing that place, and probably a lot about shopping. You know, that was my only idea of traveling. I didn't know the real meaning of traveling. So when I first started, I was very bored and I would constantly want to go to the next shopping mall because I want to see what new stuff I can buy. And that was a disaster. I also wish that I could bring someone from home. So I wanted culture, I wanted my own culture. But little did I know that the places I went to or I was going was full of culture and life. New things for me to learn. But thankfully, I eventually got it. I eventually got the idea of what traveling was really about, because you get bored and you think, what else can I do? And you start exploring. And so I realized that when I travel, I can inform myself, I can learn more, I can expose my son to new stuff. And these are things that we'll keep for life. These are things that we can share with our friends and families. These are things that I'm sharing with you today. To save you that confusion, I'm gonna show you 10 ways of how you can travel. In the comment section, you can tell me what your preferences are, what you like to do, what you have done before, and what you're still up for. Alright, so first on my list is cultural travel, which I would say we do a lot of, because when we travel, we wanna, like myself and my family, when we travel, we usually don't stay in resorts. We want to mingle with the local, we want to kind of basically live like the local, but not fully. So a cultural traveler is one who seeks to immerse themselves in a foreign culture for a period of time. In such travel, the traveler has done some research on the place that they're visiting, so they kind of know what they want to see, where they want to go. They usually live locally. For example, they couch surf, they live in Airbnb among families, or in hotels and apartments that are in local areas and that are around locals. Luxury is usually not their priority. However, safety should always be your priority. Finally, they eat local foods, they shop at local supermarkets, they visit villages, museums, local events in order to soak up the culture of the locals. Travel number 2. You travel to visit friends or relatives. Jamaicans know this too well, because I guess when I was younger, that's what we did mostly. You travel to the States or to England or to Canada to visit your family, and usually they're working, so you're left at home or you're doing some, you're helping them out somehow, and then on the weekend you go out and you get to experience a little bit. But that's another it is a form of traveling. Travel type number 3. This is for people with extra dollars to save, right? So it's a weekend break. For example, you jump on a plane from Jamaica, you go over to Miami, and you live it up for the weekend. There is some party event and you just jump on over and go experience that only for a weekend. I mean, I use Jamaica and Miami as an example because that's a good reference for me, but you can be anywhere in the world and you just leave to go probably China for a weekend. I remember doing this once, and I went to Northern Ireland for the weekend, and another time I did it with my friend Juanita. We went to Scotland for the weekend. And you would think in a short break, a short weekend travel, you don't learn much or you don't see much, but trust me, you need to plan and prioritize, and once you do that, you get so much. You get to see and to learn so much of the local culture. You wouldn't imagine you would be able to do that in such short time. All right, the next on the list is package traveling. So this is where you go to a travel agency. Probably these travel agencies are a bit different in Jamaica from what they have here, but basically here you can go to a travel agency. There are booklets, or you can check online, and you can buy you can buy pre-planned holiday. So there's a location, there is a hotel, there is bus pickup. All you need to do is pay your money, jump on that aircraft, arrive at the airport. The bus will pick you up, take you to your hotel. If it's an all-inclusive hotel, you don't have to pay for food. You know, everything is planned for you. Usually if you want to do something on the location, then you will have to plan that separately. But this is ideal for people who just want to relax, who just want to go somewhere different, live it up, relax. They don't want to learn any culture or anything. You just want to go somewhere. More recently, there are package travels that are designed for cultural experiences. So if you want, for example, to go somewhere in Africa and you want the cultural experience, or you want a safari experience, you can also book a package travel. And I think that's a great way to reduce the stress, you know, of planning a holiday, because a holiday or travel can be very stressful. Number 5 on the list is the exciting one. It's backpacking. In my opinion, backpackers see culture, adventure, and they're somehow searching for themselves. A backpacker is usually traveling with a bag, you know, it's backpacker, so they're usually traveling with a big bag like this one, and they're on a journey for an extended period. So it could be 3 months, it could be 2 months, and they're moving from place to place and living from what they carry on their back. I think it's beautiful, especially for young people who have probably finished high school, or who have finished university, or even if you're a bit older, just to backpack. And right, so I had to answer that call. So a backpacker is usually toting a big bag on their back and living that kind of life. They usually travel independently or solo, but they also sometimes they travel with friends, or you know, along the way they meet friends and they go to places together. And I think it's a really cool way for young people to explore before they plant roots. So let's hop on over to the next one. Alright, so the next travel type is group travel, and we know this very well in Jamaica and in the US and in Europe. And this is usually a busload of people having the same travel aims, and they want to probably see museums, or they want to go to heritage sites. For example, in Jamaica, we do this a lot when we go on beach trips. Even though we don't leave the island, we travel. So people from Kingston or St. Catherine, they would like plan a trip, pack a bus, and they would go to the beach and spend the day, and then in the evening return home. I think that's a beautiful way to see another place, or to have an experience with a bunch of people. That could be your families, your friends, or just random people, as we see in Europe. Sometimes it's really random people and you meet people on the trip. So another great way for young people to travel, and this is in my opinion, is volunteer traveling. Whether you're building a school, you're helping to build a hospital, or you're working on a farm, it is a great way to integrate and to learn a new culture while you travel. This is usually very low budget. You're kind of exchanging your labor for like food and accommodation, and I think it's a great way for young people to experience different cultures. And it's also a very good way to contribute to a community. If you're a philanthropic kind of person, this kind of travel is right up your street. Next on the list is a gap year travel. So when I was younger, I didn't know anything about gap year, because the aim was to just go to school, finish, get that degree, and go work. But moving to Europe, I found out that there is something called gap year travel, and this is where students, usually university students, after finishing studies, they take a break, like a 1-year break, and they go travel the world. Probably not the whole world, but they go somewhere to get some experience. And I think this is, again, a great way for young people to kind of travel before they start working and enter the real world. Next on the list is business travel. So after you've done your gap year travel, you've done your student things, now it's business travel. So this is where your company usually pays for your travels to go to a meeting, to go to conferences, or to close a deal. You usually don't have a lot of time to say get immersed into a culture or to see different things, but hey, your bills are paid to stay in a luxurious hotel most times or to fly first class. What more can you ask for? And someone is back. David, I'm so happy you're back. Your hair is wet. So he went to the lake for the first time by himself. So I was just praying, Lord, please let this boy come back. Okay, let me finish up. I can't believe it. We're at the final one. So this one is an event travel. So you know, like when there's Sumfest in Jamaica or there is Coachella in California, this is the kind of travel I'm talking about. You travel solely to attend these events. It could be a 1-day, 2-day, a weekend event. It's kind of similar to the weekend travel, but the weekend travel is you go for relaxing or you can go for an event, you know, it's anything. But this one, it's solely for that event. I mean, you're pumped up, you know what you're gonna do, you know that you're going there to have fun and to just go crazy. I have come to the end of the video, and that's 10 different ways you can travel. So that eliminate the confusion of, okay, I'm traveling, what I'm gonna do, If you know what your travels are about, or if you know what your travel is about, then that reduces the stress. If you know you want to go learn something about a new culture, then you plan accordingly. If you know that you want to go and volunteer somewhere, then you plan accordingly. So far, I've done a few of them. I've done the volunteer travel, I've done the weekend travel, I've done the cultural travel. I'm still yet to do some of them, which are on my bucket list. Guys, talk to me in the comment section. Let's have a chat. Let me know which one you have done, which one you want to do, and which one is still on your list. So until next time, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you so much for your support. Bye.